So, you have an Iron Man 3 script for me? Yes, sir, I do. And Tony's been spending his time since the Avengers movie building a whole bunch of Iron Man suits. Oh, that's what the fans want to see. Oh yeah, and he's gonna build a bunch of different kinds of suits too. Amazing. And then we're barely gonna see them in action. Oh, is he mainly gonna stick to his normal armor? No, he's barely gonna wear Iron Man armor at all. He's not. Right. No, he's mostly gonna be running around having panic attacks and crying. Wow, that doesn't sound like Iron Man at all. Yeah, well, I like to subvert expectations, you know, so people buy tickets expecting Iron Man and instead they get PTSD Tony. And you think people are gonna enjoy that? It doesn't matter if they enjoyed it. What matters is that I subverted their expectations. Well, okay then. So, and is there a bad guy in the movie? Oh, well, we're gonna have this terrorist guy called the Mandarin. Oh, the Mandarin, as in Iron Man's greatest foe from the comics? That's the one. Well, fans have been waiting to see him hit the big screen for years. Yes, exactly. So what we're gonna do is subvert their expectations. Oh my god. Yeah, they're gonna think this guy's some amazing villain, then halfway through we're gonna be like, oh no, he's just some dumb actor guy. Maybe people would prefer to actually see the Mandarin though. It doesn't matter, because their expectations are gonna get subverted. It feels like people are gonna get mad. You can't be surprised and angry at the same time. It's scientifically impossible. Oh, it is. Maybe. I'm not a scientist. Well, okay then. So what actually happens in the movie? Well, you know how in The Incredibles the bad guy becomes a villain because the superhero guy was mean to him a bunch of years ago? Yeah. Well, I figured we could do something like that. What do you mean by something like that? I mean exactly that. Why would we do that same storyline again? Because people love The Incredibles. Oh, that's a good point. The Incredibles is tight and it made a lot of money, which is also tight, so there's a lot of tightness going around. I enjoy that. Exactly. So who's this bad guy and how is Tony mean to him? His name is Aldrich Killian and Tony told him he was gonna meet him on a roof in 20 minutes and then he didn't show up. And that was enough to turn him into a villain? Oh yeah, plus he said he thought about killing himself when Tony didn't show up. Oh my god. And Tony had a one-night stand with this girl Maya that same night and then she also turned evil. People were really taking stuff personally that night, huh? Oh yeah, really sensitive people. Wow. Anyway, so Killian and Maya put together this program called Extremis. And this thing basically lets people regrow limbs and heat up and heal and shoot fire and stuff. Okay. But also sometimes they explode, so it's bad. Yeesh, so what's their plan here? Well, Killian wants to kill the president. Why? Because Killian's a bad guy and killing the president is a thing that bad guys do in movies sometimes. That's true. Gotcha. And what else happens? Well, out of nowhere, Tony goes on TV and invites international terrorists to his house. Oh wow, so I bet he goes home and prepares for battle. No, he goes home and doesn't do anything at all. What? Yeah, and then his place gets attacked by helicopters and he's all surprised. But he told them to come. Yeah, so he has a hard time fighting them because the only suit he has available is a prototype that's not even combat ready. What is going on right now? The action is gonna look cool, so I'm hoping people don't realize how ridiculous the setup for it is. Oh, it's gonna look cool. Okay, carry on. Yeah, so anyway, at the end of the movie, there's gonna be this big fight between Tony and Killian. Oh man, it's gonna be hard for Tony to protect himself against a guy who can breathe fire. Actually, it's gonna be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh really? Yeah, Killian can breathe fire, but he doesn't use that in the fight at all. Why not? I don't know. Fair enough. Also, Tony's gonna have like 30 remote-controlled Iron Man suits fighting by his side. He has 30 remote-controlled suits? Yeah. So why would he even go there physically? Because it's the big final fight, so he has to be there. Seems pretty reckless. Yeah, and we're also gonna have Pepper fall off a crane. Oh, so she's gonna die? No, luckily Killian gave her superpowers for some reason, so not only does she not die, but she comes back and kills him. That is lucky. Yeah, so anyway, then Tony blows up all his suits because he's like, we're not gonna need those again. Well, I mean, in the next Avengers movie, he is gonna need them. Yeah, after the movie's over, we're gonna pretend like none of this happened, so it's cool. Hey, where were the Avengers in this movie? How come they didn't help with anything? Yeah, I know, right? But why didn't they? That's what I want to know. Like, hey, could have used some help here, guys. So is there a good reason, or there better be if you ask me? Okay, never mind. Great, so what do you think of the movie? Do you think it's gonna do well? Is it gonna have Iron Man on the poster? Yeah, it'll do fine.
That's all it takes. So I know we talked a little bit about Iron Man 3 when we did Iron Man 2 reaction to the pitch meeting. And there was a lot of talk about how Iron Man 2 and 3 were not the favorites of a lot of you guys. When it comes to this movie, it is not one of my favorites. I remember going to the theater. I was actually supposed to see Fast and Furious 6, I believe. Or was it 7? I think it was 6. And it got sold out, so I couldn't check it out. So me and a buddy, we went and saw Iron Man 3. It was actually an advanced screening of Fast and Furious. It was all booked. So they gave us free tickets to see Iron Man 3, which was cool. I hadn't seen it yet. And I left the theater feeling torn. Like, did I enjoy it? It was a superhero movie, but also wasn't done very well. Or I guess more or less, it wasn't done to my expectations. Which again, like Writer Guy kept saying, their expectations. are going to be subverted, which to an extent, yes. I hate when movies always do this kind of bait and switch. Like, hey, we're going to dangle this in front of you and this is what it looks like, but it's not really this. It's something else, or it's not this at all. Ben Kingsley's character as a Mandarin was cool. And then him being, I think it was Trevor Slattery, it was funny, but I really wanted him to be the Mandarin. I just wanted him to be a different version of the Mandarin that we wouldn't have expected. I'm sure there would have been a whole lot of, hate because he wasn't of, I think, Asian descent is the original character. And then with Guy Pearce coming in the end saying, I'm the Mandarin, I was like, this is just getting ridiculous. There was just a lot of different things about it that I didn't really enjoy, especially the end credit scene, because you always want these end credit scenes to be good. This was the one where the end credit scene was awful. And I was like, are they running out of ideas? With Bruce Banner pretty much listening to Tony tell the story of all this that's going on and being his psychiatrist, even though that's not the type of doctor he is. And he jokes about that. But I stayed after the credits for that. And that really got me upset. Like, I was like, okay, this they just didn't know what to do with this movie. And so it was really upsetting. I haven't seen it since that first time, like fully. I've seen pieces of it, but I've never actually watched it fully since then. I do like how they brought callbacks to different characters, like having the little boy be at Tony's funeral. That was dope. Like, is he going to play a bigger role in the future? Let's see. So like little things like that they kind of intertwine throughout is nice. Iron Patriot was dope. Don Cheadle as Rhodey having a suit in red, white, and blue. That was cool. So it's like there was little things that I did that was nice, but overall, I just didn't really enjoy it. I hate how they were trying to show, hey, Tony's smart. He doesn't need his suit to be the hero. I get it, but we watch these movies to see him in the Iron Man suits. That's the whole point. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this one. As you can see, I don't really enjoy this one as much, but Ryan George kills it. He knocks it out of the park. I especially like with this one, how when he talks about, things being tight, he kind of was listing things and being very nonchalant about it. Didn't go, crazy like tight, like how he normally does. That was pretty funny. He knocks everything out of the park with this one. And the whole subverting expectations is literally what was happening with this movie. That's what they were trying to do. And to me, it didn't really work all that well. And I think that's why it's one of most people's least favorite MCU movies, comparable to Thor and maybe even Ant-Man a little bit. Yeah, those are my thoughts on that one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about Iron Man 3. Let's talk about this Iron Man 3 pitch meeting and what your reaction is to this video. I'd like to hear what you think. If you are subscribed to the channel though, thanks so much for subscribing. We're growing. I love what we're seeing here. I love to reply to you guys' comments so we can talk about different things here. If you're not subscribed though, think about subscribing. I'd love for you to join the On My Mind crew and see what we have going on here. And you can also give me suggestions on things I should watch if I haven't already. There's one that's going to watch pretty soon that someone gave me an idea for. So we're going to see how that goes. There's a few different things I want to try. So it's coming up soon. We're still waiting on my internet. Things have been kind of slow here in Texas as far as getting internet installed. So I've been using other forms of online options to get things going. But thanks so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, check out some of our other pitch meeting reactions. We got a number of those, not a ton like the pitch meetings, but a number of those that you can check out if you haven't seen those yet. And then also check out the New Mutants pitch meeting reaction. That was really funny, better than Honest Trailer in my opinion. I think most of you voted that way as well. And if you've seen all of that, I'll see you in the comments.